This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Next up, we got The Undertaker and Triple H. Here's the backstory. After defeating Steve Austin in a 2 out of 3 falls match at No Way Out, Triple H feels that he deserves to be in the WrestleMania main event, having defeated everyone in the company, including Stone Cold and The Rock. The Undertaker took exception to that and told him that Triple H never defeated him. And believe it or not, the two had never faced each other one-on-one in a match on pay-per-view. During his entrance for a hardcore title match against Big Show, Triple H attacked The Undertaker. Kane would run in and save The Undertaker, but winds up being attacked by the Big Show. On the following episode of SmackDown, Undertaker tries to break into the limousine of Triple H and his wife Stephanie, but winds up being arrested by the police. And as a result, Kane requests a match against Triple H later that night, but he loses again when Big Show interferes. And now we've got a video package that highlights the rivalry, and it's time for the match. Motorhead plays Triple H to the ring. I like this, live band component of WrestleManias. It makes it seem bigger than life. I think a lot of our listeners probably like Motorhead. What'd you think of that? Using a live band to do the theme music.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And not cheap. Travel, expenses, a payday. Hearing them rehearse in the afternoon was really cool. And of course that was Triple H's music and I thought it was pretty unique. It really made it was a signature opportunity for Triple H. And we're still in the building process with him. And obviously he had been well taken care of because look at who he beat. He was getting his body of work together and the foundation of what he was doing was cool. I remember Vince and I talking about the show, and we had these sheets where you have an 8.5 by 11. I guess that's what a regular sheet is. And on one side of it, you had all the baby faces. And then right across the same sheet, you had all the heels. So when you book somebody, like for a house show run or whatever, you just mark their name off. And the irony was that when we started playing with this card, 2 very prominent names had not been marked off. Undertaker and Triple H. And Vince, oh shit. Well, we didn't have time to really build a great long story, but because the Undertaker's tenure and being over, Triple H getting over, we didn't have we weren't second guessing that. But I'm not going to tell you that their booking was an accident. It wasn't an accident, but it was an afterthought because they weren't involved in a primary story. This thing was so heavily Austin Rock oriented that it was, what the ladder match? We had no idea, Conrad, that ladder match was going to be a phenomenal success until we saw it. And those guys over-delivered. So the Undertaker Triple H match kind of came together late, but you knew that it's going to be a hell of a match because you got 2 amazing talents in there. And they told a good story. They got plenty of time, 18 minutes and change. So I thought it was, to come together late, I thought it was a really good outing for both those guys. And quite frankly, I may be hypocritical what I said earlier, where everybody doesn't deserve to be on WrestleMania. Undertaker and Triple H deserved to be on WrestleMania.
Of course.
Come on. So I'm glad that they were, and they did a great accounting for themselves. So anyhow, it was good. What did I get knocked for in this one? I got knocked for something.
Oh, did you?
It says there in the notes. Ross talked about a big backdrop of the concrete. They showed more replays of the same. Then they killed it with the final replay actually showing his landing was into a gimmicked foam rubber pit, basically turning the match from serious to comedy and making Ross look bad trying to sell it as devastating. Well, if that's the only thing I look bad at in that show, I'll take it.
Yeah, it is a good match. They get 18 minutes and 17 seconds. It's 3.5 stars. You just described the big bump, but eventually they have the Undertaker use the tombstone, but there's no referee. He sets up the last ride power bomb, but this is a nice moment for Triple H to hit him in the head with the sledgehammer and potato him. He busts the Undertaker open, but it's a really cool visual and a hell of a counter. But of course, the Undertaker quickly comes back and wins with the last ride power bomb. They go on to have 2 more WrestleMania matches against each other. It feels like we always talk about the Austin Rock trilogy at WrestleMania, but Undertaker Triple H had a trilogy of their own. Where do you rank this one, the first one?
Well, it's hard to beat your first time, Conrad. You remember your first time, right?
Oh, sure.
You were in the 8th grade. She was your English teacher. I've heard these stories, folks.
Sure.
Anyway, I'm kidding.
I wore darks. Don't worry about it.
Good boy. And Kleenex. You had plenty of Kleenexes on hand.
Always.
Yes. I thought the first one is hard to beat. It's new. It's fresh. And to be honest with you, as I sit here right now, I can't. Where did I call? I think I called the other Undertaker Triple H matches, but I can't remember exactly where they were. I remember them.
The end of an era match, I know you did for sure.
Yeah. No, I liked the match, and knowing the backstory that it again, afterthought is not a good term, but an 11th hour decision to put them on the show against each other was very admirable. Because let's be honest about it. These 2 guys have a wealth of pride. They're both big time over. They're both Hall of Fame guys. And they got to be looking at this thing like, well, I guess we just barely made the cut. So we're going to go out there and kill the son of a bitch. We're going to kick ass. And I thought that's what they did. So I had no issues with that match. It would have been better if we had a longer build to get there. You know, one of Triple H and Undertaker, both their fortes was building to something.
Yeah.
And they did have a long build for this matchup. But I enjoyed the match a lot. And it would have been a shame, a damn shame, if they had not been booked. So I can't even imagine it. It didn't even process for me. So, but I think this first one was one that I remember the most. Again, because it's part of this WrestleMania 17, it's part of this Astrodome presentation. So I'll go with number 1 until I go back and research it.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.